Showtime. Literally.
Brandon Stahl,
What's up, brother?
welcome to the show. That's my man.
What's up, guy?
How we doing, baby?
With a quiche.
We got the motherfucking Keens. He's just staring at you. He just wants your love, man.
In, bro.
He wants your love. He just, yeah, there you go.
We love that.
Yeah, I love when
Sure.
he loves on my guests. You love Uncle Brandon, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the gun stuff is cool, man. I'm getting more. I don't know if it's my older age. I really don't. I'm just getting more and more into firearms. I think just the freedom of them and just in general, the ability to protect yourself and your family and
Yeah, dude.
just the tactical use of firearms.
Oh, yeah.
I find them very fascinating. And there's a lot of cool shit. Like we were talking about Keanu before. Keanu's just out here just doing side stories now. Yep. My man is just like, he's an actor. He plays bass. He likes to ride motorcycles. Yep. He shoots guns for fun. I mean, it's just dope.
That's like the crazy thing, dude, is like what we were talking about earlier. Like, oh, John Wick's so cool. Da, da, da. Like, no, that guy can do that shit for real.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
That's all that's real.
Yeah, no. That dude,
I mean? Like this dude practices that.
He is the stuntman.
Like, you know what I mean? That is him. That is all legit. That is all real.
Yo, he loves you.
We love a good keen.
Yo, we love a good keen scratch. He loves you, man.
Yep, love a good neck scratch.
It's super cool. And the unfortunate side of things for me on the firearm related topics is how uneducated a lot of people are. And I get the fear behind them. They're scary, man. They could kill you. You could kill yourself using a firearm improperly.
You see it all the time.
And you can hurt. Listen, in your line of police work, you see a ton of shit. Even in the military, you see improper use, improper people discharging their weapons or accidentally not holstering it properly and horrible trigger control. And it's scary, man. And, you know, I hate to sound like some people look at it like, you just don't get. No, I get it. I get why you're afraid of them. Right. But when you're afraid of something, sometimes the best way to overcome that fear is to learn and understand more about the actual item. Like, I hate blood tests. I hate blood tests, but for my health, I needed to get the blood donations for my iron because my iron's too high.
You not like needles or whatever?
I just don't like needles. I've just never. I mean, listen, I don't know anybody that likes needles that just sit. I mean, except for maybe addicts. Yeah. But then again, I don't even know if they like it. To be honest with you, I think they just like what comes from it. Yeah. So they tolerate the actual mechanism to get them to that point.
Makes sense.
But I never fucking liked needles, but the way that I had to get over it was I just fucking went there. I went to the blood donation spot and I just was like, I got to donate. You
just go do it.
This is for my health. Like I have to do it. So when you think about firearms, you think about people that are afraid of them. I have a buddy who his wife is a teacher or his girlfriend's a teacher and she's very anti-gun. And I get it because the stigma is that, you know, school shootings and whatnot and not even the stigma, but like the altercations that happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? So, like, take that video that we were watching earlier it was the barbershop video.
Yeah.
The guy comes in with a pistol. The other guy has a shotgun. Right?
Shout out to Active Self-Protection. Great channel to learn about sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Great channel to learn about just firearms, safety, when to draw if you're holding a firearm, when not to draw, when to just like, I'm not going to draw my pistol because the dude's got it in my face. Yeah. Like he's got a gun in my face. Like that's a stupid time to try to counteract violence. And maybe there is no perfect time and you don't draw at all and you just sit there and take my money, man.
I'll see what happens.
Yeah, but like we were watching the video, you were saying.
Yeah, so we're watching the video, dude. Like you look at a situation like that where that guy has a shotgun, right? So you see all these, not to get into like anything political related, but like you see all these like very leftist people like, oh, why do you need an AR? Why do you need an assault rifle? If somebody comes at me with a shotgun, like, I want to have something.
You gotta have something.
I want to have something.
Dude, my standpoint on all this stuff is like, you see in a lot of cities that ban guns and that are so super harsh on the owning and the distribution legally, even though it's your Second Amendment right.
Right.
They're very harsh on even allowing you to have it. But gun crime is through the roof. So as a logical thinking human being, and I don't want you to think of like left, right, anything like that. I couldn't be further from hating both sides, to be truthfully honest. I hate everybody.
Yeah,
they all have,
both, man.
I say it all the time, man. They all have fucking agendas, and the agenda is to keep us in the same position that we're in and not gain power or strength over them. That's really what it is.
There's a method to the madness.
Yeah,
At
man.
least on their end.
Yeah, and both sides.
Always is.
And the issue with having a two-party system is they pit everybody against each other, and everyone's fucking miserable and angry, and you're wrong because you don't believe in the left, and you're wrong because you don't believe in the right. No, you're both wrong because there is good on both sides. There's good. You can meet in the middle and say, okay, well, I like some things over here and I like some things over here. Right. It doesn't have to be so drastic. But now going back to like a statistic, I don't have any statistics like ready to be pulled up.
Right.
But if you think about cities that have harsher gun laws and restrictions, why is it that gun crime and gun violence are up? Do we believe that it's actually law-abiding citizens that are going out, expressing and utilizing their Second Amendment right to bear arms and protect themselves and their family in their home or on them if allowed by the state? Right. No, man, it's criminals, bro. And I know I'm not preaching to you, but you deal with this shit all the time. And the criminals are always going to get guns at the end of the day. Yeah. They're always going to get guns, and they're always going to have a way to enact harm and violence to get their way. And at the end of the day, maybe their way is money. Maybe they're stealing something from you. Maybe it's property or valuables. Maybe it's a sex like assault. Like that's fucking scary, dude.
So yesterday I was out to breakfast. It was my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and so my uncle, he was a cop in NYPD. He came out to Glen Cove, retired from there, and it's funny because a lot of things like, cop to cop, we're having these conversations, and he's obviously a lot older than I am, but it's crazy. Like years ago, how like it's still the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just may look a little bit different. But so we were talking about guns and like, gun violence and how, people like in states like New York, Chicago, like places that have like super strict gun laws, right? Like how that affects crime rates and all that stuff. And I'm like, and we were both saying the same thing. We're like, if somebody wants to get a gun, they're going to get a gun.
They're going to get a gun.
Right.
No matter what.
So,
they will have the ability and the means to get a gun.
Right. So you take somewhere like Florida, right? I live in Florida, right? So Florida, like DeSantis passed that permitless concealed carry law, right? So you don't need to have a permit. You can conceal carry.
I can come visit you and carry while I'm down with you.
So you can conceal carry there. Cool. So people, as soon as that stuff was coming out, right? People like, we're in uniform, we're working. People are like, oh, well, what do you guys think about it? I'm like, honestly, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you're a civilian, that's great. It's incredible. Like, you don't have to jump through any hoops, do any paperwork. You just go, I mean, obviously, you still got to go
background checks and whatnot.
You got to do all that
You have
stuff.
No mental health issues.
Right.
All the right proper channels.
But you don't got to go, like, the process that you guys have to go through here in New York, good Lord, dude.
2 years.
Like, I couldn't imagine that.
2
right?
years to get a pistol license.
You don't need a permit, right, to conceal carry in Florida. But on the law enforcement side, I'm like, that's a nightmare because now anybody could have a gun.
Yeah.
Right. So, obviously there's still stipulations. Oh, you can't be a convicted felon, so on and so forth.
But generally speaking, in law enforcement, are you
like 99% of convicted felons have guns?
Yeah, of course they do.
Like, let's just be real about it.
But
right?
generally speaking, in law enforcement, and from your, dealing with people in the community and whatnot, generally a law-abiding citizen isn't going to put, even if they have a firearm and you stop them for a traffic stop, somebody who's a good person is not going to just pull a gun out on a cop and just start blasting. It's like, it's not, I mean.
More often than not, they'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, even people who are like, they'll pull over cars that like might be sketchy and like you go over there and they're a decent person. I have a firearm in the car.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, and that's the right way. And that's the right way to do it.
Like, okay, it is what it is. You're allowed to have it.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. But, like if there's drugs in the car, what I mean? Like there's sometimes
now we have some things.
Sometimes there might be a little bit more, right? And whatever, you take every situation as it is, but.
And now I think that's worse. I think it's worse, the legalization of marijuana and the ability for people to use drugs on not a grand scale, but a more widely, quote unquote, acceptable scale.
Dude, I remember we had a guy a couple years ago. Me and my buddy were riding together, and we arrested this dude. He had a shit ton of weed on him, and we ended up finding a gun. Right, so we arrest the guy, whatever. We got charges on him, and he's like, we're in the car, and he's like talking to us. He's like, like what could I have done? Like what could I do? And I'm like, honestly, bro, I'm like, listen, I was like, nobody cares about weed. I'm like, let's just be real. I'm like, the fact you had a gun and with the weed, and you had, you have baggies, like you're obviously selling, you know what I mean? I'm like, the gun is what's going to screw you. I mean, like, let's just be real. Cause now you're putting yourself in a really, like, bro, it's going to get dropped. The key is going to get dropped.
Yeah. It's a waste of everyone's time, man.
You know what I mean? But you have possession with sale and delivery with a firearm. Like now you're talking a pretty serious charge, right? But dude, people are going to get a firearm, dude.
Yeah.
Kids are breaking into 20, 30, 40 cars at night. They're going to get a firearm. It's going to happen. People are really stupid. People will sit here and be, oh yeah, I can leave my gun in my car overnight. No, you can't.
Oh God.
No, you cannot.
Ooh.
I don't care where you live. No, you can't.
And see, now that's the side of it that I have a problem with. Like, even though it's great that it could be easily accessible to a lot of people, there needs to be proper channels for training.
Yeah,
and there has to be an understanding. And we go back to
such a liability.
And we go back to the same topic that started it all off. It's like, if you're scared of something, whether you are or you're not, there needs to be training. You have to have an understanding of this item and what it can do in your hands and in the wrong hands.
Yep.
And it's not just like watch a shooting video and see the massacre that can happen. It's not about that. It's about understanding that if you draw your firearm, you have now engaged in potential legal issues, no matter if you're allowed to carry or not. What are you going to do? You're not just going to show your gun off to people. Sometimes that makes people go crazy and like go, oh yeah, well go ahead, fucking shoot me. And then now you're in like an ego battle and you're going to go to jail because of this asshole.
Well, like that's the thing with law enforcement. I'll speak for my department. I've only worked at one department, right?
But you also have a military background.
Right. But like, even in the military and specifically with law enforcement, like we are told all the time, right? Every round you fire off, like you're responsible for that.
Yeah.
So that's not just law enforcement, that's civilians. Like you're responsible for that. If you miss your target and that goes and hits a bystander, that's on you.
Yeah, that's a new charge.
That is on you.
Yeah.
Right. So
and there's if you see people just mag dumping and shit like that, you're like, bro, you can't do that, dude. Like you got to watch your backstop. There's a million and one things that you have to have a mental checklist on. And guess what? When you're having a fight or flight moment and you have to actually draw your firearm because you fear for your life. Let's talk about like a real situation. You fear for your life and you have to draw that firearm, bro. You have to have that training already ingrained in stone in your brain. I've drawn my firearm. I have to watch it, the people that are the targets. I have to watch people around them. I got to make sure that if I do, I'm counting my rounds. Yeah. Like 1, 2, 3. If the dude turns around and runs away, like can't shoot him in the back. Like,
dude, like and it's funny. Like I will say, like since I've started the agency I work for, man, since I've started, they've always preached you cannot go where your mind hasn't gone. So. And again, like a lot of people are probably like, oh, he's just super biased because it's where he works. No, like legitimately, our training department is phenomenal, unbelievable. And dude, the amount of like active shooter drills we do, because that's the closest you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Without going through the real thing, but of literally force on force, you're using sim rounds. You know what I mean? You're going through, they're playing noises in the background, like
people screaming and whatnot. You have to have these things.
You got to go through training, man. That's gonna put you as close as it can get. So God forbid if that moment actually happens in real life, you're not freezing up or you're not just, oh my God, right?
I was talking to Aaron about this yesterday, and it's a twofold type of a response.
Yeah. The
first is Aaron talked to me about how he's been all over the country and he's seen training for a lot of departments, and it's scary how bad it is. Yeah. Even enrolling officers, he said, I've seen they give them P90X tape. They do a P90X tape, and then it's like, what?
You're talking about just like fitness.
Just for fitness, just to pass the test. And then that's basically it. Yeah. That's basically it. That's their training. And then you talk about, on the other side of things, I talk about jujitsu. And it's like the first time somebody takes my back and they're trying to choke me out. Bro, today, I felt like I got choked out by fucking everybody. It was insane, dude, because I haven't rolled in 2 weeks. Right. So it's like I'm rusty. I'm trying to like get back into the swing of things, and I don't want to just muscle people out. I want to actually use technique. And almost every interaction I had, somebody was trying to take my back today. But because I've been there before, I'm able to like slow down,
you understand
block,
what the feeling is.
Yeah, block. And I like it. I like when people put me in horrible positions, because now the next time that it actually happens again, I'm like, oh, okay, let's get out of this.
It's crazy, like in those situations, and like what I've seen over, I've been in law enforcement almost 4 years now. It's really not that long, but in a city where I work, where we're crazy busy all the time, like your experience level is a lot different than a small town. You know what I mean? So, you get in those moments where you get into a fight or something like that, when you have some sort of training, at least what I've noticed is like, you can almost like slow your brain down a little bit or slow the situation down and like see and feel what you're doing versus like, you're not just like flailing around trying to just grab whatever you can grab. Like, dude, like at one of my last fights I was in, dude, if it was a foot pursuit, and I'm getting the guy, get him down onto the ground, and like I was able to like control him and then look up and see like who's around me, where am I at, get on the radio,
Take a moment.
you know what I mean, be like, hey, this is where I'm at, and somebody was able to get to me quick and be like, okay, cool, I know where he's at, help me cuff whatever and go on, with the rest of the investigation or whatever. But it's having that experience that I trained you where you can sit there and be like, okay, I know what's going on. I've been here before. I know what this feels like. Now I can like control things.
Yeah.
I
almost wish, and maybe this is something that you can pitch to your department, and you guys can maybe be the first one to my knowledge. I'm not an officer, but to my knowledge, maybe you guys could do some breathwork courses.
Yeah.
I think that's super important, being able to slow down.
Yeah.
Breathe, because when you're in that fucking mode, that go mode, being able to like exactly what you're saying, slow down, gather your bearings, your awareness of your surroundings and other potential hazards and bystanders and what the actual perp is doing. I mean, listen, once again, I'm not an officer, but I can only assume that something like that would help in being able to control internally what's going on while externally shit's just hitting the fan.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, absolutely. Because like, and we'll hear it on the radio, man. Like you can hear people that, maybe they're not in an area where that kind of stuff happens a lot, or they just haven't had that much experience with it. And you could hear their voice on the radio.
Yeah, shaky.
You could hear like they're yelling super loud, or they're out of breath, or they're trying to say things and it just sounds like a bunch of just gurgle. Because it's a bunch of
slow
jumble.
down.
Like, bro, relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have those guys that get on the radio and they're like, take a deep breath. They're like, shut up.
Yeah, it's not helping.
You know what I mean? Like you've been here before. Like you know what it's like. Shut up.
Yeah.
This
is this person's first interaction having an issue.
Right. It might be a
second.
younger person, right? Like it is what it is. But like, yeah, no, I agree. Maybe it'd be something I've never done any like breathwork type stuff. At least I don't think so.
There's a lot of different type of breath work.
Yeah.
Who did I speak to? I spoke to Taylor, who is one of the owner of OG.
Okay.
And Taylor has been certified, I believe, in the Wim Hof method. I'm sure you've heard of Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Wim Hof is a different type of.
Yeah.
He's a different type of breathing technique. He's that like go into the ice and I believe that is pivotal for anybody across all avenues of life. It's just putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and then being able to overcome that. And then some of the mid stressful level occurrences and things don't really seem that bad anymore. So I do believe that that's pretty important. But Taylor actually spent time out at the UFC training center because they were running seminars for breath work and all different kinds of stuff. And bro, you learn a lot, man. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about just how the body works when you take the time to slow down. And from what I remember, and I could be butchering this, so Taylor, if you're listening to this, my bad, brother. They would do a lot of vigorous exercise, and then they'd have to work on the breath work and then kind of go right back into sets while they're still frazzled and whatnot, or they'd have to do some type of a task while they were trying to recover, but utilize the breath work. And there was putting them into that stressful, like where you have to amp yourself up and get your nervous system enacted, and then they would do the exercises to get their bodies used to being in that situation. It's pretty interesting, man. It's
like
all these modalities and all these different styles now because of the information spread that we get through podcasts, we get through TikTok, Instagram, all these different social sites. When they're used for good, you're able to like pick these things up and go, oh shit, I had no idea that this was even a thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like there was like I know for us, like one of the, I don't know if it's one of the last things you do anymore, but like when I was in orientation, we did like it was like a foot pursuit exercise or whatever. So basically like, you get in a car, you run for, I forget how long it was, but you run like a pretty good distance and you get there and there's another officer there already fighting. You guys have to work together. You know what I mean? Like this guy's gonna be out of breath and you guys got to really think through it under stress. The military does the same stuff. Law enforcement, you do stress shoots and stuff like that. You do a bunch of exercise, run around, do whatever, and then you guys sit there like, okay, and start getting your rounds on target.
It's tough, man.
It's tough. It's not easy. You know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of that goes through your fitness level too. You know what I mean? Are you really?
That's what I was talking to Aaron about as
You know,
well. It's
so
just I
they
see
go
an
hand in hand,
I
man.
see an overweight officer, and I'm just like, come on, man. Like, dude, there's no way this is helping your job. You got to be ready to go. And I see dudes get manhandled, fucking manhandled by dudes because they're just not in any particular fitness.
There was a video recently, and
some of them are tough watches,
bro. I am like, it went pretty viral recently. And this is nothing against females because there are a lot of females that can do this job. I've seen it. But there was a video in Chicago. It was 4 female cops. They got a call. I think it was a shoplifting. One dude, right? One dude shoplifting. And they end up getting the dude. They're all like on like a street corner. So they're trying to, like, the dude's still on his feet. Like, they're trying to, like, basically, I'm assuming they were trying to detain him is what it looked like, because they were trying to push him up like against the wall. This dude single-handedly overpowers all 4 of them, takes off running.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you look at, like, all of them were, you can tell visually out of shape. And it's like, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. Especially if you look at a place like a Chicago, right? That's like already in just absolute shambles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a city.
Oh my God.
In terms of crime and all
Zero
that.
interest in visiting Chicago.
Right. And it's
Zero
like,
interest.
Dude, I mean, fitness level takes.
They can keep their deep dish pizza. I'm good on that.
Yeah, like it's crazy, man. But that's that's just an example, right? But like that's across all of law enforcement. I see it in my own agency. It's across all of law enforcement, dude, and it's so bad.
If I had to do battle with perps every single day, and it was life or death, and these people intentionally wanted to harm me and get away with the crime, but I'm there stopping it.
Yeah.
You know, these people don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They're going to try to hurt you.
Yeah.
I am going to give them every opportunity to not best me. That's really what I'm going to do. So my physical fitness is going to be up. My mental clarity is going to be up. I'm going to practice jujitsu. I'm going to practice all of these things. I'm going to practice my shooting. And I'm going to do that tactical shit that Keanu does and all these different places. Dude, that should be standard. Every month, everybody should still have to go and have X amount of hours in range time. I don't know if they do or they don't.
Well, that's the thing, you know, and that's why like I let off of that earlier about like our training department for where I work, dude. I mean, we qualify 4 times a year, which like for some departments to go once a year.
And
that would be like
that's
the whole
fucking
range time.
insane.
Like we qualify 4 times a year, and there's other training in between that with firearms. You know what I mean? So obviously, you know, every agency is kind of up to their own demise. You know what I mean? It's what you make of it, but yeah, I mean, all that stuff collectively, right? Like instills that confidence. And I had this conversation with my uncle yesterday, and like, you know, generationally, right? Like you can see the cops that are kind of like coming onto the road now, and you'll see not all of them, right? But like a good amount of them are like
generally,
a little bit more apprehensive now, especially because, you know, they're coming up saying, oh, the protest is, right? They've seen all these different things.
Well, they're worried that if you fuck up once, it's over.
Right. And like sometimes you have to tell these kids, like, no, grab this dude. You know what I mean? Because this is what I was saying to my uncle yesterday. I'm like, right, if you're a criminal, right, you don't give a fuck if this dude is first day on the road or if he's been a cop for 15 years. Doesn't matter. A criminal is a criminal, right? He does not care. What do criminals do when you show up?
Yeah, they're eyeing your gun. They're
sizing you up, man.
They're trying to see what you can do.
I run on you, like that's what they do, right? And it's not going to change. It's been like that forever. Like it
was like this in old Western times too.
My uncle was literally telling me stories yesterday, and I'm like, I've been through this same shit, but it's like 20 years later. Like, or no, he retired like 12 years ago, I think. So I'm like, but it's the same shit he was doing back then. NYPD out here on Long Island, that's the same stuff. Criminals act the same way. They don't change. Like they may get a little bit smarter here and there about how they do things, you know, after they fuck up a couple times, but generally how they react to law enforcement, it ends up always being the same. Yeah. Like you can tell when somebody's going to run.
As a criminal, I don't even know what I would want. I don't know if I would want somebody that's been 15 years on the job or if I want somebody that's been day one. Yeah. Because I feel like the day one dude's shakier. The day one dude's, you know, quicker to make a mistake. Yeah. The 15-year vet, he's just trying to get his time in and he just wants to get the fuck out.
Oh, dude, it's funny, man. Like you'll see like sometimes like dudes that have been, you know, they've been to jail 10, 20 times. They're like, oh man, you're a rookie. You're like,
yeah, they start picking you apart, bro.
They'll start calling people out.
Yeah, they know you better than you know yourself sometimes.
And they want to see like, are you going to jaw back at me? Yeah. You know what I mean? obviously, we have body cameras and stuff like that, so you got to be careful what
You got to keep it. You got to keep it professional.
You have to give that confidence of like, we're not going down that road.
And that's tough also, like just the body cameras and stuff like that, like because you have to be upheld to a golden standard, and you get jawed at all day and shit like that, and people just say what the fuck they want to say to you, and you have to sit there and just take it. And when that that starts wearing on you mentally.
Dude, I was working off duty at Universal one day, and it was like a bunch of like 15, 16-year-olds were like,
"No, they're the fucking worst." Dude, they don't think that anything could happen to them.
Just like causing havoc for something stupid, right? So like their security flags me down, and like they were basically like blocking a doorway for like a VIP area. So I literally just grabbed the cows, get out of the way. So they start freaking, oh fuck you,
you touched me,
oh you piece of shit, fuck, I hope you fucking die, right? So this lady, right, like. She comes over. She's like, "Oh my god, I got the whole thing on video." I'm like, "I don't fucking for what?"
Yeah, because I moved the kid because he wouldn't move.
What do you want me? What do you want me to do with that?
Yeah,
somebody tomorrow is gonna say the same shit to me.
And the crazy thing to me is that starts at the home. So that that starts at the home. So the respect for not only officers but the respect for other human beings.
Oh, dude,
that's a lack of respect for other humans. I've never spoken to somebody like that. I was always just like. We are the same. Like you and I are the same. The CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the janitor are the same. I hate that example, but like that's really the truth.
Get it,
Like we're all the same on this fucking planet. So it's like you have to have respect for your fellow man. Now, if they don't give you respect, if right out the gate you've been super nice, forthcoming, whatever you need, officer, my bad, blah, blah, and then there's like back and forth, not initiated by yourself. I can understand having a fucking attitude, jacking some Joe, whatever. Yeah. But like that starts at the home, man. The disciplinary actions of parents, telling your kids what is acceptable as a human being, what is not. Because parents that raise children like that, you're just creating in the way kids. You're creating people that just are okay with being a nuisance to society. You're creating how I don't understand how my son could do this because he's such a good boy. Well, he's a good boy in your eyes, but when he's out on the streets, he's a fucking menace. Yeah. He's a menace. So like, there's a lot of problems that you have to address at the root, not just like send him out and hope that school does it and this and that. No, man.
Bro, no.
What was I saying before? I want to be dangerous and not bad, dangerous because I'm trying to inflict harm on people. No. I want to be dangerous because I want to be the man of the house. And that means something to me. I'm older school in that thought process. My grandfather, the head of the house type shit, old school Italian. I'm second generation, Italians coming to the US. To me, the man is the head of the house, and it doesn't mean that we boss people around this and that, but you are the head, so you hold a lot of the strength. And
you see that a lot, man.
And if the house is in shambles and the house isn't strong and kids are getting away with shit at home and at school and the man isn't coming in and going, "Yo, enough of that fucking shit."
Dude, you see
it crumbles, bro.
Like fatherless homes, dude, like a lot of these like young kids that we deal with, because dude, I mean, juveniles, dude, they're out of control. Like I don't know, I can't speak for every state, but like where I'm at, our juvenile system, horrible. Right. But a lot of the times, dude, like you get these juveniles, and like for us, like our policy, like we have to contact their parents.
Yeah.
Right. So who's the parent? Usually mom or grandma.
Yep.
These kids run all over them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And
they're the quote unquote man of the house.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Like I've literally watched like almost like disabled grandmas like come walking up like trying to pick up these kids. I'm like, this poor lady. Like,
yeah, she don't want to do this shit.
No control. You know what I mean? Like she's probably 70, 80 years old, has zero control.
And guess where it starts with even before then? Stop putting grandma at fucking bad situations. Wear a condom and stop fucking without consequences, bro. If you have a kid and you're a man, be there for the kid. Don't fucking dip. Don't be a wishy-washy dad. My dad's wishy-washy. He always has been. I'm very lucky that my mom was a strong human being.
We love Karen.
Shouts to Karen.
Shout to Karen.
Very lucky that Karen is who she is, because without her and without my grandfather, I would have turned out very differently. I say it all the time and I mean it. But if you are a man and you impregnate a woman, and whether you believe in keeping it or not, whatever your belief system is, if that child is born, you as a man are responsible for that kid for the rest of their life. Don't be a fucking deadbeat dad. I can't stand that. Teach your
it's
kid,
unreal, man.
dude. Teach your kid how to do things. Take them hunting. Take them fishing. Take them do different activities.
Yeah.
Stop making these cocomelon babies. I've said that before too. Just a bunch of in the way fucking humans that are on the LIE just going 2 miles an hour. Yo, I'm done with it, bro. Like, dude, there is a changing of the guard. I don't care what anybody says. There is a remasculine movement coming into this world where men want to be men again, and we have to be because there's too many bitches around here now.
You have to be like,
There's too many dudes that are acting like bitches and they're not being men.
Yeah.
And they're not going out and do it. You don't have to wrestle human beings. You don't have to do, but you should know how to defend yourself, how to defend your family, how to provide for your family. Because guess what? When shit hits the fan, wifey's going to look at you and go, what do we do? She's not going to look at herself and go, I got it. No, she's not.
dude, there was
Unless it's Brock Lesnar's daughter.
It was funny. Like this is probably gonna cause like a lot of controversy because I know people hate him. But like, I was watching an Andrew Tate clip. Right, like people are probably blowing.
Yeah, no,
like,
my
heads are probably
my channel just lost 500
exploding,
subscribers.
So yeah, whatever. But but no, seriously, right? So he was talking about like he had a girl at his house or whatever, and he was saying somebody was knocking on his door like violently, and he looks at the female, right, and the female looks at him. He's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go do that. Right?
Yeah, I have
right?
to answer that.
Dude, you gotta be a man, bro. You gotta go face that shit. Don't let her do it.
No,
you know what I mean. But like, there's some dudes that would be like, oh god.
Oh yeah, dude, because they've never had to fucking
bro,
grab your testicles.
It's go time, dude.
Yeah, grab your fucking nuts, bro. Yeah. It's time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is, man. Yeah. That's what there are distinct differences between men and women. Probably people hate to hear that too. There is. It is what it is.
Say what it is.
I don't care what you do. I don't care if you decide to change. It don't matter to me. I've had Alex, my friend, on who transitioned from being a female to a male. Doesn't matter to me. I want everybody to live their best and favorite life. Right. But when it comes biologically to humans, there are very big differences between men and women. Yeah. And there are role differences in the family structure, whether you want to admit it or not. And when that fucking door is getting kicked in at the middle of the night, you are not sending your 110, 120 pound wife downstairs to go address that. Hey, babe, I'm going to call the cops. You go down and address that. No, bro. You're grabbing the fucking gat. You're grabbing your fucking dick and you're going down there and you're addressing whatever the hell just entered your house to do harm to you, to do harm to your wife, to do harm to your family, your fucking dog, whatever it is. Bro, it is time,
dude,
man.
That's why I meant to. I think we started talking about this last night. There was a guy that went viral out in I want to say it was Los Angeles. So he was going to his fucking home, right? Did you see this video?
Concealed carry.
Yep. So he was going to his home, right? And these two dudes were coming up to rob him, more than likely, right?
No, not more than likely. They were coming to rob him.
Fucking turns around and starts
blasting,
dude, right? Like, bravo, dude. Good
work.
work.
You know what LA did to him, right?
Oh, dude.
They took away his concealed carry permit, so that's great. So now when these guys come back with firearms, he doesn't have any now.
Crazy, right? Because I don't know if those two dudes have been arrested. I'm gonna go with probably not.
No, of course
if
not.
They were.
Fucking
they're
LA,
probably
bro.
out. But
LA loves criminals. Like I can't stand
that's
that
great.
shithole
And I think
state.
I want to say that dude was from. I want to say he was like from New York.
Yeah, he's from the East Coast. Yep.
Yeah, like he was
entrepreneur. He's from the East Coast. He was getting ready to go for a run, and he had a coffee in his hand or a tea or whatever he had. He was opening the door. There's a long corridor that went up to his front door, and the dudes ran up on him. I'll probably what's the timestamp on this? 33 minutes.
Yeah, it's been 33 minutes already.
Yeah, it's been 33 minutes. See, we just fucking chop it up. We hang out.
I think the last one we did was like almost fucking
3 hours. Crazy. Yeah, so I'll have to maybe insert the video. We'll see if I'm able. I don't know if I'm able to do. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. I don't care. But they ran up on him.
Yeah.
And he didn't have his gun was obviously concealed under his thing. He kind of like turned around. The dude already had the gun out on him, and he dumped the coffee or the tea right in the dude's face, pulled his gat, and just started blasting. And guess what, man? That's a tough scenario to be in.
Yeah.
That is a very tough scenario to be in. Because we just went through like the mental checkpoints that you have to have, the thought process that goes through your brain about making sure that all the boxes are checked. I mean, he followed them out and he went for cover, and one of the dudes actually went around his car. You don't even know if he was coming around the left side. There's a lot of variables that go into that. You know, theoretically, if I was in that situation, and you always speak from a third party, you know, because you're able to logically, I wasn't in it. So I could sit there, watch the video a few times, and then think about what I would do. Doesn't mean I do it in the moment, but I'm able to now look at it and go, I probably would have went inside.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I probably would have went inside following the perps out that ran off. Now I could get ambushed. Maybe there's more outside the gate.
Yeah, you never know.
You never fucking know, dude. And now I'm out how many rounds? Do I have an extra magazine? Like what do I have to worry about, dude?
A lot of variables.
And then for the state or the county to take away his concealed carry and his permit to have a firearm, that is absolutely insane. Because guess what, man? If those dudes come back with more people or even just by themselves and firearms and they kill that guy and abuse his wife and kids, that is on LA County. That is the blood of that family is on their hands. But guess what?
Yeah.
Even saying that, it doesn't fucking matter. They don't care.
Yep.
They don't care because criminals need to be dealt with at the root of these fucking problems.
Yeah. Remind me to segue back to LA County because there was something I wanted to mention about.
We can go right now.
But no, because you'll see why. But there was, dude, like I will say, like in law enforcement, at least the squads that I've been on, man, like any officer involved shooting or stuff like that, like we all usually collectively sit down and we'll kind of like talk about it. And I'm not going to sit here and say I've been in an officer-involved shooting because I have not, right?
Knock on wood. I hope you never have to be.
Right? But I know guys that have been, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many fucking critics, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like you look at all these videos, oh, we should do this. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, man.
If you haven't been there, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You want to collect thoughts in your head about what you think should have been, go ahead.
Sit there and digest it. But right? We don't need your 2 cents.
But like if you've not been in that position, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, you see what it is. You see the video. Okay. Got it. This is the circumstances. You know what I mean? Maybe this is what I would have done. Cool. Keep it to yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, like amongst law enforcement officers, you know, there's certain things we'll talk about like, okay, yeah, maybe there was cover and concealment here. You know, you just kind of start painting the picture and looking at different things, but don't criticize, bro. Especially like these keyboard warriors, dude.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got something to say.
You'll never sit here and put on a uniform or a badge and go out there and deal with these fucking assholes. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth, dude. Yep. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. And you'll see it all. Like, it'll never end. That's the sad part about it. It'll never end. People will just always talk about it. But, dude, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Crazy. Like,
it's insane. Everyone's always got something. But that's the internet, too.
Oh,
everyone's always got something to say.
Unbelievable.
I say it all the time. Dre has said it on the podcast. We scroll past things that we don't agree with constantly. Fuck my 2 cents. I don't need to put my 2 cents on everything. I can talk about it on my platform. If I see something that I don't agree with, I can talk about it on my platform. But sitting there writing nasty comments, writing things like that, it's just not in my code. Like it doesn't work for me. And the same should be taught to everybody else. It's like, yo, it's cool to have feelings about things, but you don't need to speak about everything that you see. And like you said, if you've never been in that situation, then you really don't know how things actually go down.
You don't know you might just shit your pants and not do anything.
Exactly.
You don't know. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what you don't know.
And now going back to somebody that has been in military for years prior to being a police officer, you know, you've been in combat. Yep. You've dealt with shit. Yep. That is fucking scary, bro. It's scary. I don't care how tough anybody is. It's scary. And so, but being in those situations, I feel like it gets you a little bit more at ease on stateside shit. But sometimes I've heard from Julio, stateside shit's more dangerous than the shit that he experienced overseas.
Yeah. You know, it's tough, man, because I think a lot of things are very situationally dependent. You know what I mean? There's obviously different variables and stuff to everything, you know, whether it's military, law enforcement, whatever. But like for example, law enforcement, right? Every call you go to is different, right? You can go to 1,000 domestic violence calls. Something about each one of those calls, it might be like very minute, but something's going to be different every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I would say probably here stateside is a little more edgy, I guess, just because like somebody who you thought might be a victim could flip on a dime and now be going after you. You know what I mean? Versus like, you know, on deployment stuff, like, you know, somebody out there is like straight up probably going to come after you at some point, right? Like if you're in a war zone, like there's obviously people that don't like you, right? But, you know, here, just random person like could just flip, you know what I mean? You never know. And I think that's a little bit of the difference with law enforcement and military, at least in my opinion.
Do you find that ex-military personnel make better officers because they've seen more shit and been in more situations?
Yes and no, because I will say this, man. There's a lot of officers I know that have zero military experience that are unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Outstanding officers.
And can make great tactical decisions. You know, and it's just obviously that comes with experience. But you know, there are several officers I know that do have military experience that are very good and can slow situations down, like we were talking about, and kind of assess things. And you know, and it's just it is what it is. Like, you know, a guy I work with now on my squad, you know, he's tactically great. He's unbelievable. Zero military experience, but like tactically, he's great. You know, so it depends, man. You know, and I think it depends where you work and where you come from. Like Orlando is, oh no, I just outed where I work.
Yeah, but you were outed by that TikToker that time. You were outed by that TikToker that time.
I've been on TMZ, man. It's just whatever. But yeah, I mean,
I thought Orlando was so magical and like it's the best place in the world.
Happiest place on earth, dude. But no, I mean, I think it depends where you work too. Like, you know, we have a lot of guys that come down from NYPD, dude, and just shit the bed.
Really?
And it's, you know what I mean? It's just,
and you would think that because they're thrown into the fire.
You would think that like, oh, NYPD, like, dude, it's just different. Everywhere you work is different, man. And
Volusia County for Jeff.
Volusia County, like, it's just places are just different. You know what I mean? So at least where I know where I work, it's just so busy. You know what I mean? And I've done my entire career minus one phase of field training all on the west side, right? And that's our busiest division, at least from like the most recent stuff that I know. And there's a lot of people who like don't want to work the west side, you know, because it's busy, it's violent. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit that happens. But
so what type of person has to go? What type of person elects to go over there?
Usually we'll get like we'll get people that want to work, like they want to work dope, you know what I mean? Or so they'll want to work. The west side is kind of broken up into, all of our divisions really are broken up kind of into like two sections. So like one part of the west is straight up the hood. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of dope and guns and all that kind of stuff. So you got a lot of people that want to go there and do that kind of work. The other half of the west side, where I was on midnights, you get everything. I mean, you can find dope, guns, you'll have carjackings, robberies. I mean, you'll have all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a buffet. It's a buffet of fucking crime.
It's crazy, man. This shit, like, I never thought. When I went to Orlando, I was like, no way.
You're like, man, I can't wait to hang out with Mickey.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Like, the amount of people would be like, oh, you like guard Mickey? I'm like, oh, you have no fucking
you have
idea.
no clue what's outside
you
those
have
walls.
No idea, dude. Yeah. But, you know, there's a lot of places that are like that, unfortunately. But, you know, it's just, it is what it is.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
Do you miss military life versus law enforcement life?
Bro, I will say this to my dying day. The biggest regret of my life so far was getting out of the military. 1,000%.
Dude, Julio said the same thing.
Dude, I tell people all.
And he was a cop in the city and this and that, and every which from what I understand, you're not supposed to say ex-military.
Yeah.
Every person, every person who is a veteran who used to be in service, they all say that the worst mistake they ever made was stopping the military in whatever branch you were in and then becoming a police officer in the States. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, like, everything's got its ups and downs, right? Like, no matter what it is in life you do, you could be a fucking store clerk and you'll have ups and downs, right? So it's just the experiences I had in the military, the friends that I made, like, it's so hard to remake that shit.
Different bond.
And dude, like, law enforcement, dude, like, is an honorable job. It is. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to say I'm a police officer, 100%. Like, I will never like negate off that. But like, law enforcement's a very toxic environment. Mm-hmm. It's extremely toxic.
Yeah, Aaron and I were going over.
Yeah, and like the military is to an extent, but like, and I can't speak on the military too much now. Like, I was infantry, right? I was a paratrooper. When I was there, infantry was all dudes. It was an all male environment. Like, females weren't. Yeah, they started to, like, towards the end. It was like my last year. I think they were integrating females in, but it was only like, I think it was only like lieutenants at the time. But it was all men, dude. So like, it's just, I don't know. You just do what dudes do. You know what I mean? Like, if it's locker room talk, you know,
just doing dude shit.
Yeah, and it's just, and with your boys,
people
bro.
Who aren't dudes don't understand that,
bro. And like, not to bring him up again, but like I watched another video of fucking Andrew Tate.
Oh my God. Twice?
Right. Dude, yeah.
Fucking twice?
Dude, we might as well cancel this whole thing.
Dude, I'm just going to delete all
I probably just got canceled just there.
I'm going to delete all the episodes now. This isn't even posted yet, and it's already been sent to your lieutenant.
But like, so in that video though, like, so he was talking about, he's like, one of the best things a guy can do is just sit around with his boys and laugh.
Tribe shit. That's what it is.
And he was like, there's like nothing greater. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff a man can do, but like one of the highest that a man can get is sitting there just laughing, genuinely laughing and have a good time with his boys. And I was like, God, I felt that.
Yeah.
Because like, that's how we were, you know what I mean? My buddy Tyler just got married a couple months ago.
Shouts to Tyler. Congratulations, brother.
Dude. Like they got married a couple months ago and like we all got back together, dude, and it was just a fucking blast.
And it was like you never missed a beat.
We never missed a fucking beat,
Yep.
Dude. You know what I mean? And like that was probably the hardest I had laughed in like a year. You know what I mean? Just all night long. You know what I mean? It was just fun. You know what I mean?
It's one of those nights that you just wish stretched out for years.
Oh, dude. Yeah. It was unbelievable. But you know, law enforcement, I remember people go, dude, when I was getting like into law enforcement, people were like, oh, this is paramilitary. Shut up. No, it's not. They're like, oh, this is paramilitary. You know, it's very similar. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And again, you know, like I said, I'm proud to be a police officer, but they're two totally different environments, man. They're two totally different environments. It's crazy.
On the topic of tribal type behaviors with men, I don't think people understand how important that is for men to be around not only other like-minded men, but just good influences in their life and fun times, happy, this and that. There's been a lot of occasions where I had something lined up with a girl to hang out with a girl, and you know my boys became available, and I dropped the ability to hang out with the girl to go hang out with my buddies. And some people look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, really? Just like, you want to go hang out with your boys instead of like hang out with the girl? I go, yeah, because you know why? It's a guaranteed good time with my buddies.
Yeah.
There's no stress. And not that every woman is stressed, but listen, man, I just know that it's going to be a good time with good memories with my boys. And if that girl is important, then we can go out another time. We can go out during the week, or we could do this and that. But to me, I'd rather continue building these memories with people that I care about right out the gate.
Right.
Because I don't know if this girl's going to be my girlfriend. I don't know if she's going to be a one-night thing. I don't know if she's not going to be anything at all. Maybe she comes through and it's just like awkward and neither of us want to talk to the other one, and it's just like, okay, thanks for coming through, and it's like, wow, like what a wasted night. I could have hung out with the boys. And as men, it's just it's almost that primate brain that comes through. It's that primate brain of us just wanting to be in a group with other men. Bro, apocalypse hits, what's going to happen, dude? There are going to be pockets of strong men that lead groups. That's just what it's going to be.
Dude, like one of the things that like it irritates me so much is I love talking about the military, dude. I do, just because it's just
something special to you too. And you didn't just sign up because you were offered a car. You signed up because you wanted to.
Yeah, it was one of those things, dude. I was like, I will regret this for the rest of my life if I don't do it. So I went and did it, right? And like after I got out, man, like, and I talk about the friendships I have from the military, and people are always like, oh, well, like, you know, you guys deployed together, or like, you know, that's why you guys are so close. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, not really. I'm like, is that part of it? Yes. Yeah, it is. I was like, it's the everyday shit. It's living in the barracks together. It's hanging out, fucking, dude, like you wake up, do PC, you go to work all day. It's Friday, you get back. All right, cool. Let's fucking go work out, eat dinner, grab some beers, play Xbox. Like you're with each other all the fucking time. And like, honestly, like you don't get sick of each other. You just have fun, man. You know what I mean? It's the day in and day out. All the different shit that you do, man. And like, I was thinking about this story the other night, and this is like one of the funnier stories I've had in the military. Dude, we were at this bar one night. So it's called Patty's, right? And it's well-known bar in that area where I was stationed. And dude, so our platoon, when I was in Charlie Company of the battalion I was in, dude, like our company overall, all three platoons were very close. So everybody, you know, we all went out that night, right? Dude, and I remember like there's pockets of guys there, right? Like we weren't all there together. It's just different groups. So like obviously you see your guys from the company around. And dude, it was like getting towards the end of the night, and we're like kind of hanging out outside. And it's a local bar too, right? Like locals go there. So some dudes like start jawing at a couple of my boys, right?
Shocker.
So we start walking up, right? And like there's a big fucking dudes like in my company, right? So they're jawing back and forth, and I'm walking up, and we start jawing. We're fucking going back and forth. Dude, I turn around, and there's like fucking 20 of my boys, like from the company, and it's just like nobody was like, hey, like no, we're about to fight. No, dude, just seeing them, they're like, oh fuck,
yeah, let's go over there, let's go check out what's going on.
And like, I'm not gonna say his name, but like our one of the officers in our company happened to be there that night.
We're gonna call him Chuck.
He like runs over and he's like, "Guy, we're not doing this. We're not fighting." And we're like, "Hey man, like this was about But it was that relationship of like, you turn around, you're like, "Oh fuck," you know what I mean? You just got a squad, bro. You know what I mean? And it
makes you feel invincible,
dude. Yeah, you're like, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's awesome.
It makes you feel special because there's so many people that you see, especially on the internet, and a lot of it's the keyboard warriors, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that never get that experience.
Yeah.
They never make friends. They never get to experience that brotherhood. They never get to actually bond and connect with another man, another human being. Yeah. It's different. I have to keep saying man because it's different. I don't believe women understand that men have that tribal bond. It's a very different experience than girls bonding.
Yeah.
And women bonding with one another is something that I'll never understand because I'm not a woman. Yeah. So it's like when you got your boys and you feel like, oh shit, something might pop off, but like you turn around and you look and you're like, oh dude, okay, well like if it does, I feel a little bit more at ease because I got the boys with me. Right. That's a feeling. That's a vibe, man. Yeah. And it's an inexplainable vibe for people that have never been in that situation. It's sad because there are people that maybe don't have the interpersonal communication skills. They, for some reason, can't express themselves on that stage. They just come off as weird, whatever it might be. And, that's a tough thing for someone to go through and never feel that, especially as a man. I can successfully say that all of my friends, whether they've been phased out of my life, whether they're in my life, whatever it is, I've always had that feeling and that bond with them. Yeah. I always had that like, yo, it's cool if shit pops off because I got the boys with me. Like, we're good. Like, even if we all lose, we all lost together. Like, we all, hang our heads a little lower, but we'll be fine the next day. Like, it's cool. We just keep hanging our head high because nothing happened because the boys were there. Yeah. It's a good feeling, man.
Dude, yeah. It's different, man. Like, and again, I can't speak on like what the military environment would be like right now, but like I just know like when I was there, dude, I won't tell too many stories, but like,
you're good,
dude. We had one day we were waiting after some training event. We were waiting for like the trucks to come pick us up, and back then like you fuck with the privates or whatever, like the lower guys, and we were like, hey, go over there and physically take private so and so. So two of our fucking guys, they run over, they fucking snatch this dude up. Bro, we got into a full company brawl in the middle of a field. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Everyone's gonna be laughing afterwards.
For no reason. Like, dude, we're just fucking each other up. And like, that was fun.
Whether accurate or not, that reminds me of what movie was that? It was the one with Hawkeye from Avengers. They're the bomb patrol guys overseas, over in Iraq.
Are you talking about the Hurt Locker?
Yes, Hurt Locker. When they're all wrestling in the barracks together, and they're all fucking each other up and laughing, and is that how you hit? You're a bitch, like going out. That's that camaraderie shit, man. That's that fun shit. That's male bonding. Yeah. That's what that is, dude. Yeah. I was making a joke about jujitsu today. And it's like I voluntarily sign up to have other sweaty men just rub their shit all over me and like us to like beat each other up. And dude, I walk out of jujitsu sometimes. I walk out like today where I haven't gone in a while. And I got home, I showered, said what up to the quiche. And then I sat on the couch and I went, oh, yeah, I feel like my body got destroyed today. Yeah. Bro, you are going 6, 7, 8 rounds, 5-minute rounds with another grown human. There's bonding involved in that. There is camaraderie. I don't believe he listens to the podcast, but he is a good friend through jiu-jitsu. I got to shout out my man Simba. I fucking love this dude. Every time you ask him how he's doing, like you're just like, hey, Simba, how you feeling? He just goes, blessed. I'm just like, I love that, man. You're just in a good space. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't have bad days, but it means that he always is trying to elevate his energy and his vibrational feelings and this and that.
Yeah.
So he hit me.
A lot to get there, man.
Yeah, man. So he hit me up today, and I was trying to coach some of the guys up. So I mean, we're a couple of the white belts in the competition class. Competition class is killers, bro. Like these are dudes that are purple belts, black belts, brown belts, dudes that train to win. Like these are bad dudes. So Simba hit me up and he goes, good roll today, bro. He goes, thank you for the in-match coaching. He goes, hopefully over time I'll be able to implement the advice better in real time. So
Cool,
I said,
man.
dude, I said to him, I said, dude, excellent as always. I said, you're a beast and it's never not a challenge rolling with you. Like you are an animal, man. And I said, truth be told, I don't even know if it'll help in the moment. I said, from the outside, it seems like it will. I said, I just try to give tips because when I'm mid-roll, at least for me, I forget what the hell I'm supposed to do because I get so caught up in making sure that I don't get advanced further by the person I'm rolling with. I said, I am glad that I can help you, though. I said, we are all a team at the end of the day. I want to see you fuck shit up, King.
Right.
So I said, and he says, hell yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Outside eyes and strong advice are always great. You gave some good advice that helped me during my rolls. It's always appreciated.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
humble, man.
That's building a bond right there. That's what that is. That's us just. And then guess what? When I go to his tournament and I'm watching him do his thing, he has faith in me to give him what I'm seeing from the outside. Watch his foot. Watch the sweep. Watch this. Don't let him overcompensate. Keep your weight back. Yeah. These are all things that. And we're under Sarah. We're under Matt, Sarah, BJJ. So we feel like a tribe. And it's cool how I talked to Nick Gilliberti when he was on the podcast. It's very cool how we have these pockets of tribes of mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu schools. Yep. And then everybody comes against each other to compete. But you look in the crowd and you see, well, like, oh, those are Tiger Showman guys. Those are Matt Serra guys. These are Win Jitsu. These are Soka. All the different schools on Long Island. These are 10th Planet. Right. And it's cool to see everybody like, oh, that's like me if I went to that school. Like I see him with all his boys rooting for the dude in the cage. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's what I say all that to say that it's very cool when you have that interpersonal bond with other men, and especially if there's military, police work, sports. You know, anybody that's played sports, baseball, football, lacrosse, anything like that. Y'all are rooting for each other. You want to see your team do well. It's in your best interest for you. If you're my quarterback, it's in my best interest for you to play well. If I'm your running back, it's in. What the fuck are you laughing at?
I'll think about when we were watching the UFC fight last night. The Cup Man.
The Cut Man. Go ahead, tell people. No, go ahead, tell people. No, go ahead. You brought it up.
Oh, you said quarterback.
This is part of the bond. Go ahead.
When you said quarterback, dude, that shit just reminded me.
Yeah. Tom Brady, quarterback. Yeah. All right, so go ahead. Give him the fucking rundown.
Holy shit.
Cock. Go ahead.
All right, so we watched the UFC fight last night, and it was it was literally the Cut Man.
Yeah.
What was it? His name was Brad
Cutman.
Yeah, so he literally has Cutman, and above it is Brad.
Yeah, so I said,
it's like Brad.
I said, yo, that's like a dude named Jeeves just becoming a butler. I said, why is he Brad Cutman, and he's the dude that's cutting people before they go into the thing? And Jack just looks at me and he goes, bro, he's the cut man. And I said, why is it like that? And then I looked at the other guy. The other guy's like ref, and I go, oh, that's fucking bullshit. That is bullshit. Yeah, Brad Cutman. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you said quarterback, that shit just reminded me to us.
Yeah. Well, now I don't want you to do well. Now I want you to get sacked talking about that, putting me on the spot about my Cutman mix-up. Piece of shit.
Oh, man.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good laugh.
That was great.
Oh, man.
That's more man shit, bro. Like,
yeah, just like little sis
razzing each other.
Like people are going to be watching this, be like, "That's so fucking stupid." Yeah. Like, but I think it's hilarious. We thought it was hilarious.
It's hysterical in the moment.
You know what I mean?
It's hysterical in the moment.
That's funny.
Let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
How's life?
Busy, man.
Yeah.
Busy. Yeah. Between work, dude. Like, you know, again, like I said, every agency is different. Every city's different. But like, you know, we're busy all the time. So work has its own stipulations, man, that just is time consuming. You know, day is on, day off. But between that, the nonprofit I work with, I have, dude, it's just busy, man. You know, and I remember I had this conversation a couple weeks ago with my parents, and I was like, really starting to figure out like the whole running a business thing. I'm like, it's a lot. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you learn something every day. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I've been working for myself. Technically, I've been working for myself since 20. When did I get fired? I got fired in 2017 from Audio Command. Only time I've ever been fired. Thank God I got fired. I fucking hated that place. It's horrible, man. Driving out to the Hamptons, just like a boss who was just super You want to talk about somebody who's like a boss and not a leader? Yeah. Exactly that, man.
Title.
Yeah, dude. It was just bullshit. There could have been a very fruitful relationship that came out of that, and it just was not what it was supposed to be. But anywho, And then I quit my job with Casey at CCP June of 2018. So technically like July of 2018, I've been working for myself. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I actually have to think about that. I'm like, holy shit. Like I didn't even get 2 years on my own and then the world shut down.
Bro.
I dealt with all that.
Yeah.
I dealt with the adversity of having to find brand new clients and do all that. And, you know, then navigate getting out of COVID and like, oh, it's time to get an apartment because like you're 30 something years old and you can't stay at home forever. And, you know, it was kind of just a wild little roller coaster ride. But so let's just call it like 2022.
Yeah.
2021 for argument's sake.
Yeah.
I'm always learning things, man. And it's tough, man. And one of the things that I've learned from listening to a lot of, not gurus, but people that are entrepreneurs and been doing it a long time, is you have to be able to delegate the things that you are not the best at.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not good at the bookkeeping.
Right.
I fucking hate all the accounting shit.
Yep.
I hate all that side of things. So I hired a bookkeeper. She does my books.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all these different facets, man. Like, you got to market yourself, the books, the equipment, right? Like the clients, right? Like, you can go on and create a list for fucking everything.
On top of dealing with other humans that are involved with the actual project.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's it. Like, dude, there's things like one of our board members, Mike, like recently he brought up to us like all these analytics on fucking Instagram, and I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So like you learn shit every day, dude. It's crazy.
And that's also important though, because, you know, like let's give an example for the hum that I was having in my audio recording yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
So
something small, right?
For those that normally I would get very irritated.
Yeah.
Like very irritated. I would not look at the footage because every time I looked at the footage, I had to confront that something was wrong.
Right.
So in my mind, I would just put it off. I moved my mixer and amplifier from that side of the table over here. I felt it looked better in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I moved my mic stand to shoot out this way, but it wound up being too short and I was too close to the end of the table. So I didn't like that.
Right.
So now I've moved it to this side. And it gives me enough room if I have to like write notes and whatnot. I have everything right here. Listen, man, I think I have a very good setup, all things considered. So it's like you have to work with what you got for the time being. There are things that, of course, I want, but right now we just work with what we can.
Yeah.
I moved the electrical brick that powers this mixer. I have a basket under this table that holds the wires for the microphones and the wire for the headphone amplifier, headphone jack underneath. So this way they're not just dangling on your feet and my feet.
Right.
I moved that AC power brick to the basket. But being, not that I'm new to this, but I still, I'm a videographer by trade.
Right.
I just happen to do audio, podcasts, photos, everything else because I've kind of just been thrown into the fire.
Right.
So I moved that brick into the basket, not realizing and remembering that once that happens and whatever microphone line that touches the brick is going to have electrical interference. So my microphone, the entire episode with Aaron, had a small electrical hum here and there. I took it out the best I could, but being that it's at line level and it's not at like a software thing or a background noise.
Were you able to hear it when you were talking?
No.
Like on your headphone? Oh,
Nope.
so it's just like when you actually went to the recording of it? Oh, no shit.
That's why I did the recording just before this with you to just test the line, put it into my software, listen, and hear if it was there.
Right.
Now, I mean, it may be here. I have no idea
Yeah.
until I get it. I don't believe it is. I believe I fixed it because now I moved that away to that side and I made sure the wires aren't touching it and everything's good now. And then we did the test, listened to it, sounded good.
Right.
The point of that is that even though everyone thinks I'm an expert in every fucking thing I do, I'm still learning just like everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even though I may be, let's say, 20 steps ahead of a guy that's just starting a podcast, I'm still learning. And there are still bumps in the road that I have to deal with.
You're always going to be learning.
And the best way to deal with that is to just go, all right, let's figure it out. Let's not get crazy. This is a learning moment. Yeah. This is something for me to be able to go, oh shit, okay, like now I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
So with business, with life, these are all just ways for you to upgrade your knowledge base and just to feel more confident in things that you do. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like even like with our nonprofit, dude, it's just that being a nonprofit has its own challenges naturally that you deal with. But like, there's people we've met over the course of this journey, man, that, have been in business for a long time or have other nonprofits and things like that. And they'll be like, oh, like, well, you need to know this, and this. Like, oh, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. And we're like, no, no, no. Keep giving us that information. Like, we want to know these things because that's just more education for us. You know what I mean? You're sharing your knowledge with us. Like, the more knowledge we can get from people that have been through these things, we'll take it.
And when it comes down to it, it just goes right back to what we started this episode on, is you have to be put in these positions and these uncomfortable things and these fuck ups and these different things to learn.
Yeah.
And to be more accustomed to when they come down the line again, because they always will.
Oh, yeah.
They always will. They're never,
always gonna be
there's never going to be a problem-free life. If you live remote in the middle of fucking nowhere, you're always going to have problems that you got to deal with.
Yep.
You're always going to have adversity. You're always going to have something. Nothing is perfect in this life or on this planet.
Definitely not.
So you just got to be able to pivot and be a mature human being. Yep. It's tough sometimes. I'm still a little kid at heart. I still laugh at fart jokes and stuff like that. Is what it is. I admit my shortcomings. I do want you to go in depth about what the goal and mission was behind the nonprofit, because that's super important.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's exciting, man. So it's the Officer Support Initiative. So we are a nonprofit based out of Central Florida. So our goal and our mission is to basically provide first responders. Now, let me clarify this. All of us on our board, we are either current or former law enforcement officers. So our overall mission is to provide first responders that are going through any sort of mental issue that they're having, whether it's PTSD, substance abuse, something like that, to provide them with resources to break this stigma of having some sort of mental issue and being afraid to come out forward about it. Right. So what we've all seen now when we started this was we had kind of collectively looked at between the military and law enforcement and been like, okay, what is the issue with mental health? The issue realistically, and this is good because now I could kind of circle back to the LA County thing, is there has always been this stigma, and this stems from a long time ago, but there's always been this stigma, whether it's military or law enforcement, any type of first responder, of if I say I have some sort of mental health issue, am I going to get fired? Am I going to get demoted? Am I going to lose my specialty unit? So on. So the list goes on, right? And so you see people that just, they don't deal with those issues. And then, God forbid, but usually the end result ends up being suicide, right? And so you see a lot of these things like the 22 a day thing, with veteran suicide. You see
so like real quick, I hate to cut you off. I put that up. Shouts to Matt Kelly. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Love Matt. He's a firefighter now. But he's a friend of mine from Bev for years. Yeah. He said that's not, he's like, I love you for posting this. He's like, but that's not an accurate statistic. He's like, it was actually found to be much lower. And I was like, I don't know. Everyone seems to be saying that.
Right.
Do you know if that is accurate or?
So that's something. So I saw the number 20 the other day.
What it just would be suicides per day of veterans?
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw the number 20 the other day and I was like, that might be something to look into. Because I know the 22 a day thing, like people are doing like the 22 push-up challenge or whatever, Oh my God.
I'm getting the help hotline because I posted how many veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so let me just say that I do love that is there.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, because you can either chat, you could send a text, you can call. At least the resources are there. Yeah. But how many veterans are actually going to use that resource? Yeah,
a lot of them don't. Yeah. I mean, there are ones that do.
The average number of veteran suicides per day rose from 16.4 in 01 to 16.8 in 2020. It was highest in 2018. Hold on, I just clicked the link. Just get this, and I'll read off. Mentalhealth.va.gov is the website that's giving me. Look at me like that, Kenji.
Change.
Oh my God, it's a whole PDF. Where's the information? Key findings. In 2020, there were 6,146 veteran suicides. This was an average of 16.8 per day. In 2020, there were 343 fewer veteran suicides than in 2019. And the number of veteran suicide was lower than each prior year since 06. From 2018 to 2020, age and sex adjusted suicide rates for veterans fell by 9.7%. This was a larger percentage decrease that was observed for non-veteran U.S. adults, 5.5%. In 2020, adjusting for population, age, sex differences, the suicide rate for veterans was 57.3% greater than for non-veteran U.S. adults. I mean, 60%. 60%. You're speaking from veterans to regular citizens of the U.S. that are not veterans. Yeah. That 60% of those people, in contrast, are committing suicide. That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, man. And, it's a somebody recently, when I spoke at the police academy maybe about a month ago or so, and one of the coordinator there that was helping us, put all this on at the academy, he's like, he's like, this is just one of those topics that these kids will never hear enough about. It's just mental health, especially in law enforcement. And listen, like I don't sit here and claim to have PTSD because I don't. Right? We've all been through our fair share of stuff. But this is something that I thoroughly believe in, and each of us that are involved in this, we all have our own story, man. And this is just something that is important to all of us for various different reasons, and you see people affected by it. And they're not always going to come straightforward about it.
Most of the time, I feel like they probably won't.
Yeah.
It's either a toughness thing or it's just I don't want to burden somebody type of thing, or they've gotten to the point of just no return where they feel like no matter what, the help isn't going to be there. They're always going to feel this way, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel in a positive light.
Yeah.
It's tough because there's a lot of factors that vary for people that have not only suicidal thoughts, but depression.
Yeah.
A lot of it could be chemical imbalances in the brain. A lot of it could be dietary. A lot of it could be lack of physical activity. A lot of it could be a lack of purpose and the feeling that you're wanted or needed on this planet. Every single person is wanted and needed when it comes down to it.
Yep.
You have to really keep that in mind. The dark days don't dictate the brighter days that are ahead. And the roller coaster ride that we all deal with on life, no one has a perfect life.
Yeah.
We just said nothing on this planet is perfect.
Yeah.
People aren't perfect. And because we're not perfect, and because there is no real perfect thing, you have to understand that those dark days are what's going to shape the lighter days to make them even better.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that, what's his name? Gary Brecka talks about, he's the guy that helped out Dana White.
Yep.
He talks about depression and methylfolate, that there's a methylfolate issue where that is causing an increase in depression. So when he puts people that are depressed on methylfolate, and obviously there's other things involved with like diet and keeping up with your hydration and whatnot, and electrolytes, not just drinking water that is filtered and you don't remineralize it, because then the water's just going to go through you and strip you of all the minerals in your body. You have to be able to remineralize the filtered water. But he talks about how once he puts people on this, they start feeling better. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do listen to a lot of different people because the information is easily accessible through all the social means.
Yeah.
And these things are just teaching points of like getting people to feel better.
Yeah.
All of this may not help somebody that has PTSD.
Yeah.
That person has a different road that they have to go down versus most of the people that are just dealing with average mental health issues.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're all difficult in their own ways, and they're super tough to come back from because we go to that point of like, nothing is going to make this better.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that can make it better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that, so like for our nonprofit, we do a lot of speaking things, different conferences, police academies. And, one of the things whenever I speak that I talk about is, it's that I try to relate a lot of this to my military time, because when I was in the military, again, I can't speak on it now, but when I was in there, I went through basic training. A lot of what gets drilled into you is suck it up, drive on, keep going, right? And you bury shit, right? You just bury shit and bury shit because you just got to keep going. Like there's always another mission. There's always something else, right? So when we talk, like with my nonprofit, when we talk to people, one of the points I try to make is, and I try to relate that to law enforcement, I say, okay, so you guys go to a hot call, right? Maybe you see a dead body, maybe you're doing CPR, a person dies, right? Like everybody's got their own war stories, right? But like, what really happens after that? Sergeant comes up. Hey, you good? You good? You good? You good? Yeah.
Next house. Next call.
Okay, go take calls. Right. So do you ever really process any of that? No. You probably go home, you take your shirt off, hop in the shower, you get in bed, and there you go.
And now you sit there and now you start processing.
Yeah, now you string together a career of calls like that. Obviously, again, depending on where you work, you know what I mean? But a lot of that stuff, you kind of don't really deal with it, right? And so, again, everybody's got their own story. Everybody's got their own things that they go through and see. So everybody's situation is different, right? But if you don't process a lot of that stuff, a lot of stuff can sit there and eventually eat at you.
It's going to build up.
You know what I mean?
It's going to build up, and it deposits in. It's weird how the body works, man, because it deposits in areas, and you start getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just mental.
Yeah.
It like deposits itself in like your kidneys or your air. I can't explain it. I'm sure there is an explanation for it because I've heard it before.
Yeah.
But it actually starts to like give you like pockets of just like. Cancerous, not cancer itself necessarily, but like cancerous things that are eating away at you and causing issues just because you weren't able to like download what actually you need to do to get it out and get your mind clear finally.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, so we've been blessed with the nonprofit, man, with, we actually just, I just met with this guy, Mike. His company is Deemed Fit. So shout out, Mike.
Should have Mike come through.
He's got a great message. So his thing, if you look at his logo, it says Deemed Fit for Duty. So his thing is being overall healthy to like do this job, to do a first responder job, mentally, physically. And there's a lot that goes into that. Diet, your hygiene, fitness level. Right, like there's all these things that go into it, and like a lot of people just don't think about that kind of stuff, right? Like, so I had somebody reach out to me a few days ago about some medication type stuff, and I said, listen, I don't know personally that's for anybody that's ever been on that for any anxiety related stuff. I was like, I've heard stories, I've watched different videos and things, and I've seen that some of the effects are not great. I was like, but look at other things. I was like, there's a lot of like holistic stuff out there now, but that also takes you doing the research too.
Well, yeah, but I think as a nonprofit, this is part of your journey and your mission is to bring these things and these training styles and these. Yeah. I hate to use the word; it's such a fucking buzzword nowadays. But the modalities and all these different things that people can utilize to de-stress and feel. Ice baths, honestly. Ice baths are beautiful for people that have stress and depression because once they do the ice bath and they get out, that dopamine rush, that euphoric sensation after the ice bath.
Right.
I mean, most people cure their depression by continuing to do this hard stuff. Yeah. And it's weird because there's differences, there's levels, there's different hard stuff. Hard stuff doesn't have to be a shooting. It doesn't have to be seeing a dead body. Hard stuff can be an intense workout. It could be committing to meditation. It could be committing to ice baths to not only physically feel better, but mentally sharpen the tools. And it gets rid of some of the shit that you've been holding on to as a byproduct.
Yeah. And that's like one of the things we started to see, man, is, and obviously, everybody's stuff is confidential. So, obviously I will not put anybody's stuff out here, but you start to see like some of it too is not like job related. Like some people just go through things in their personal life, and that could be an array of different things. Right. So it's also not just towards the job, you know what I mean? And those things like can lead down different habits, man.
But then the job stressors build onto the personal stressors. Right. And that creates the mountain that feels like
all these things. Right. And it's a lot, you know what I mean? And but at the end of the day, right. I wake up, get ready, go to the gym, whatever, throw on my uniform, right? But whenever as a cop, you go out there, you have that vest on, you're expected to be Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nothing is supposed to phase you. But at some point, like you have to deal with all these things.
Well, you have to be realistic as a human being.
Yeah, you got to deal with these things, man. Like we had a kid, man. He was missing. He was autistic. He was missing for probably like 45 minutes, dude. And one of my buddies on midnights, Angel, finds him, pulls him out, You know, got we're doing CPR, putting the AED on, all this stuff.
Where'd you find him in a lake or
He was
something?
in a lake, yeah, and he ended up dying, dude. And like that didn't like at the time did it bother me? Yeah, it didn't bother me really until like a couple months later, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like, "Geez, like that's fucked."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know when's the next one. Like you don't know, man. Like it's crazy to think about, and like. You know,
Well, how much are you supposed to just keep shrugging off?
yeah, it's like
How much are you supposed to keep rolling off the shoulder, just
Right.
being like, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it?
Yeah, and it's like, did they give me PTSD? No.
Yeah.
Right. But is it a fucked up thing to see? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most law enforcement agencies, actually, it's actually extended now. A lot of people are like 30 years now. But like, imagine that a 30-year career of that, and you don't deal with any of that shit over that time. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They talk about like the life expectancy of like first responders and stuff, how most of them just die like so early on in life after their careers. It's like, it's just a lot of stress, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stress from shit you see, going to hot calls. Like, bro, like, dude, I remember after we had a pursuit a couple years ago, and it was for some armed robbery kids. It was like a fucking 15-minute pursuit, like fucking 100-something miles an hour, dude. Foot pursuit, end up getting these kids, and like, dude, I just remember after I was just like it's fucking adrenaline, dude, and that's like, at least where I work, that happens a lot. You know, I mean, maybe not the pursuit thing, but those fucking adrenaline dumps, dude. You know, and just scares with like, you know, like this person had a gun on, like holy shit, you know what I mean? It's a lot, man. Like it's a lot. It's a long career. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been a cop for like 15 years because I haven't, right? But I've seen
Just think about how much has
seen
built
a
up and
lot.
drained on
Yeah.
you in 4.
I've seen a lot in almost 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can only imagine like another 16 years. It's a lot, man. So, you know, we try to really push that message, man, of breaking this stigma of I can't talk about my mental stuff. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Somebody's gonna fucking listen.
You need to.
We're gonna listen.
You need to.
You know what I mean? You have to. Like,
And you have to have that tribe.
and
That's
it's
right
like
there.
Yeah, and it's like we're not telling you to when you think you have PTSD, then start talking about it. No, like you want to call us and just bullshit with us about something you dealt with it. Call us, man. Like that's what we're here for, right? Nobody's gonna judge you. Like we're not affiliated with any department. We are our own nonprofit. Like we are doing this for you guys. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? This is for you to get better. You know, and even if you're not like down a dark road and you're just like, oh, man, I just need to talk to somebody, call us, man. Start getting ahead of that shit. Make sure you're good. Because the minute that you're not and you start going out there on the street and you're not all there, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad for you, your partners, the community. It's a lot, man.
And what's crazy is the negative experiences, because you're in that state, they almost gravitate to you.
Yeah.
So you experience even worse situations than you would have if you had some type of a grasp on things. You could be in a bad mood. You could be upset. You could be depressed and still try to keep your head afloat and nice and airy and happy and this and that. But it's like, bro, you're gonna be thrown to the wolves very quickly. And it's scary.
I remember when I went to therapy, dude, that this was maybe 2 years ago now. The therapist had told me, like, when I explained to her everything that happened, she's like, you know what happens when, you know, you boil water, right? And it starts rising up and overflows. She's like, your pot got full. And she's like, and you just overflowed. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a pretty good analogy. Like, and that's what happens, right? Like you're just so piling so much shit. And like, you just get to a point you can't pile anymore, man. Like you can't put any more in there and it's going to overflow. You know what I mean? So we want people to get ahead of that, man, and really take that stuff seriously and break that stigma of, hey, I can't come forward to anybody. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. Because we're here. We're telling you, because we've all done, you know what I mean? All of us that are board members, we've done it. And we know you can do it. And we're still here. We're still successful. You can do it. You know what I mean? So it's been good, man. We've had a ton of good feedback, man. So I say this all the time. So anybody that's followed us, seen us speak, like we thank everybody for the support, man. It's been fucking unbelievable.
I'm going to put the links to all your stuff in the show notes.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
put the Instagram. I'll put the website.
Yeah, we're going to have our our website should be launched here in about a week. I got to add like one more thing to it tonight.
Is there a live website now or no?
No, not yet.
So you'll have to remind me.
Yeah. So
I'll go back and I'll add it when it's ready.
I go live
so I'll just put your Instagram for now.
Yeah. Once I go live with that, that has all our stuff in them. It'll have our bio. You know, we've been fortunate enough. We've partnered with the Orlando Magic. Shout out to them. They've been unbelievably helpful with us, man. So it's been good. It's been good, man. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a lot of work to keep up with. Between like just making sure people are good, the people that reach out to us, stuff on the business side of it, like we were talking about. It's a lot.
And then being a cop on top of it.
Yeah, then being a cop on top of it. I'm not a father, but you know, we have guys. One of our guys is a father. You know, I mean, he is a husband, right? So then you have that aspect of it, right? So it's a lot of different channels to really get a control of, but it's been good, man. It's been a real positive experience. So definitely blessed for that.
I posted videos recently about veterans on my story because
I saw that. Yeah,
I get very irritated by the way veterans are treated in our country, not only by citizens but by the government itself.
Yep,
and the almost back turning that goes on it.
Yeah,
when you're asking these human beings to put their lives on the line for, let's just say, mostly bullshit wars that y'all start because of your fucking egos.
Yep.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And that truly irritates me because these are the people that we should be on our knees thanking for putting their lives on the line so that I can be here on a Sunday doing a podcast with my best friend.
Yeah.
Like I can go out to dinner and not worry about a stray nuke hitting us.
Yeah.
Like these are important things that y'all keep at bay.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that evil is met with evil.
Yeah.
Because you can't meet evil head on and face to face and go, hey, please stop.
Yeah.
No, you need to look them in the eye and say it's not happening today.
Yeah.
And we are not going to accept that. And that's what our military does for us.
Yeah.
And then once they're done and they're tossed aside like laundry and the services aren't given to them to not only secure jobs besides law enforcement, but to ensure that they're taken care of after everything that this country has put them through.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
And so as I
scared the fuck out.
You forgot Kenji was there, right?
Kenji.
Little Kenji. And as
I was like, oh,
and as the show gets more and more popular,
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm big on is veterans.
Yeah.
So I would like to partner with you guys. I'd like to bring more and more awareness.
Absolutely.
Because that's super fucking important to me.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting the way veterans are treated in this country. And that needs to change.
Yeah, dude.
Along with the remasculining of men in this country and people holding themselves accountable as human beings and good citizens and good human beings, there needs to be a change about the way veterans are treated.
Oh, 100%.
After they've put and laid their lives on the line.
Yeah, 100%, man. We had
that video that I showed you, not that I showed you, but that I put up of the veteran crying in his car as he was on the suicide hotline.
Yeah, that video went viral.
And he gets out of the car.
Yeah.
And the cop is like, I'm here for you, man. Just like, do you have anything on you? And he goes, no. He says, can I just have a hug?
Yeah.
Bro, that's a grown man sobbing and asking for a hug.
Yep.
That should never happen. He should never have been in that position mentally. He should have had all the tools. He should have had all the services available to him to make him feel like he's wanted and that his service was actually an amazing feat for society and for us to continue living this life that we take for granted in a lot of ways. That bothered me.
Yeah, we had a guy a couple years ago. This was like one of the first times with this nonprofit that we had like a really, really huge full circle moment between law enforcement and the military. It was a couple years ago. We had a guy, I think it came out as like a domestic violence call or something like that, right? But he was in the apartment, former Marine, like was in like the cert, like he saw some shit
in it.
Yeah. And so I remember that day, he had guns and stuff in the house and whatever. And I remember going to that call And I was out there with a rifle. You know, it was a hot call for us, and everybody's out there. And my buddy Rick, who I partner with in this nonprofit, he was right there at the door, and this guy's inside. He's videoing the whole thing because he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's going through a moment, right? And so I don't know exactly what struggles he was having with the VA, but I know he was having some issues there, like getting help and stuff like that.
Shocker, because I've only heard amazing things from the VA.
Right. And so,
disgusting.
you know, Rick finds out this guy's a Marine, calls up another officer who was a Marine, and they end up talking to him, end up getting to come out. They take him into custody, you know, and
You have to do the proper channels at that point. Make sure he's not, deadly for anybody.
So I never saw this guy, right? Never saw him, never met him. About a month ago or so, when I was talking with the academy, Rick was there, and he's like, "Hey, Kurtz is gonna come." I was like, "Who?" He was like, "Remember that call a couple years ago? Dude was a Marine, da da da." And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That guy." I was like, "No shit." So he comes, great guy, unbelievable guy, and he finally felt comfortable about talking with the academy a little bit about his experience that night. And I was like, I remember before he got up there, I was like, "Guys, you're gonna see, like, this is literally a product of somebody talking, getting somebody help, and doing the right thing." You know what I mean? And this guy came back, and I was like, "Dude, nice to meet you, man." Like, I was fucking there that night. You know what I mean? And it was comforting, man, to see, like, we were able to get this dude help and point him in the right direction, and like he's doing a lot better now, and he was confident enough to be able to be like, "Yeah, I want to talk to these kids." And I was like, "Wow, man." Like, that felt good. You know what I mean? It was like, wow. Like, so now, we talk to this dude, and he's, he'll be facing whatever he's got to face, for however long. And, hopefully he gets more of the help that he needs, and he's been doing a lot better. But it's just crazy to see that full circle moment of, like, now he's coming back and telling his experience of, like, "Hey, I was going through something." You know what I mean? And it was awesome, man. You know what I mean? It was awesome. We were finally, we were able to see that, like I said, that full circle moment.
Yeah.
It was good. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot. What are next steps for you guys?
So, I mean, we have more, like, we always have these speaking engagements coming up. We're mainly in Central Florida, like I said. We've been fortunate enough to have a lot of these conferences that we'll speak at. Departments from across the country have reached out to us, whether it was in person, through Instagram, sending us a message or whatever. So we're trying to expand, and hopefully get as much exposure as we can other places. So that's why, like, it's been awesome. Like, we're sitting here talking about it now. When I met with Mike from Deemed Fit the other day, he's coming down in February for a big event that we're going to out in Claremont, which is like a little bit outside of Orlando. And he's a cop up here, so we're trying to network.
Yeah, spread the awareness.
That's kind of the big thing for us right now. And just really get that message out there. So that's really our big thing right now.
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, we try, man. We try, and it's been, like I said, it's been a good experience. It's been a lot, but it's a lot to learn, man. You know what I mean? You learn something new every day. Like, every person you talk to that's going through something is just different. You know what I mean? They respond differently. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's good. It's a good thing, man. And hopefully, good, sir.
Yeah. Keen's squeaking his toy. He's getting antsy.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end. How can people, especially because it's 5:30 and I got to get you home to get dinner with grandma.
Yeah.
We could talk for fucking hour.
For sure.
Please address the camera. Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. I'm going to have links in the show note and the show notes for the audio.
Yeah.
And then the YouTube channel for people that want to get in contact with you guys and talk about and see what they can do if they're interested in partnering up or just finding out more.
Yeah. So, biggest thing for us is our Instagram account has been our main feedback for everybody that's reached out to us, whether it be departments, anybody going through stuff. We will have our website coming up here, like I said, in about a week or so. So that will be another way to reach out to us. There will be an email link at the bottom of that if you scroll all the way down through all the information. Any of our personal Instagrams, you'll see we tag all of ourselves through our Instagram page. You can reach out to any one of us specifically. We'll all reach back out to you. If I'll give you our Google phone number, that'll go straight.
I'll put it into there.
That goes straight to Rick. That phone will always be answered. So there's multiple ways to reach out to us. We are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok.
Just give me all the links and I'll put them in the show notes.
So they'll all be on that. Those are kind of our biggest things, man.
Cool.
That's kind of how everybody can reach out to us and get with us and talk with us about anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah. No, that's
a lot of development on you, brother. I've seen really good shit from you over the last years, knowing you since we were younger. And you're doing amazing things, bro.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, man. So yeah, it's been good. Appreciate you having me, dude.
Dude, I'll anytime you want to come on and chop it up with me, I am blessed to have friends like you and
absolutely
come down, spreading amazing messages and doing good for a lot of human beings. And never forget that when you're going through your mission, that every single life you touch is an unbelievable thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But I love you. I appreciate you.
Well. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody listening, this is going to be episode. I haven't put up Aaron's yet. I have to put up Aaron's. This is going to be episode, I'll tell you right now. I think Aaron was 78. So it's going to be 79. This is going to be episode 79 of Rizology. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said yesterday on Aaron's episode, 74% of y'all that watch the episodes on YouTube especially aren't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the bell notification where you'll get spammed by YouTube every time I upload an episode. If that's more your take and you really want to hear from me the second a video comes out, number one, I'm flattered. Number two, for fuck's sake, man. Somebody wants to hear me that much. I appreciate every single person, man.
Yes, sir.
So definitely hit that bell or just hit the subscribe button. Leave comments on the video when you can. Please share the message that Stahl and the nonprofit that he has started with a lot of the other officers and veterans. Please share that with veterans that you may know, other people, because as Bedros Keuilian says, men especially live a life of quiet desperation. And a lot of the times you won't understand or know when they're at their lowest point. They may seem that everything is amazing and sunshine and flowers and the best thing ever, but unfortunately, it may be pretty dark on the inside. So you never know. So sharing these resources with people that you know, they may never use them. They may need to use them. You never know, and it's good to do either way. So on that note, share, comment, subscribe, please. And then on audio platforms, if y'all can leave reviews of the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you need to do. It becomes fucking exhausting with how many different social sites and everyone requiring their own thing. But you know what? I have to say it, because if I don't say it, I'm not my best advocate, and I have to be the biggest advocate of my own show. On that note, Brandon, once again, love you, bro.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate all y'all for fucking with us.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, man.
Peace.